Hello friends, Patrick here again. How you doing today? I'm gonna just do a quick review on this latest book that I just finished called Secular Sabotage by Bill Donohue. I'm not gonna go too much into detail on this. This is a book that I've been reading in dribs and drabs over the last few weeks, in between a bunch of other stuff that I'm reading. And it was actually very difficult to get through it because it's quite um, a depressing read. The subtitle is How Liberals Are Destroying Religion and Culture in America. And the title, of course, Secular Sabotage. Bill Donohue is president of the Catholic League. So, just to tell you a bit about the theme of the book, is this gentleman here, Bill Donohue, he spends his time trying to promote and defend the interests of the Catholic Church. And he does a lot of writing, a lot of press releases. He does a lot of speaking engagements. He does when they have debates. He's willing to debate pretty much anybody, anytime, anywhere. And so he is very active in defending the interests of the Catholic Church. But the main thing that he works or struggles against is issues of morality. And so, of course, we know that the Catholic Church faced um, a lot of criticism for the moral abuses that took place in its history for however long you want to look back. And he does address that in the book here and there. But the main focus is the battles that they face outside of that whole issue with the priests being involved in indiscretions and things like that. And so he identifies the many different areas where there is attacks against the morality of society. And it appears that most often society tries to target the Catholic Church because it's such a big, easy target, both because of the indiscretions that they've been involved with, and also because they're this huge institution, very visible. And so very often things like artists or movie makers or individual interest groups, they will create something which attacks the Catholic Church. For example, they'll create a image of something which is blasphemous and they'll promote that, or a book or a movie that is blasphemous, and then they try and get a lot of exposure for what they're trying to do. And so that's basically what the book is about. And the other thing that it's about is the splintering of groups, right? So you have many different little small interest groups. They either splinter off from the Catholic Church or they splinter off from other Christian denominations, and then they create their own group that is promoting something which is contrary to what the Catholic Church teaches. So they may have a group that is pro-abortion, for example. They may have a group that is pro-contraception or pro allowing priests to marry, or many different topics. You'll have the Catholic Church having this doctrine, they go against that doctrine, and so they create their own group within surrounding or promoting that particular issue that they disagree with. So, and the thing that struck me that I wanted to mention in this video about the book was the concept. And it's funny because the Catholic Church uses this term called excommunication. And so when somebody doesn't follow up to their instruction or tries to attack the Catholic Church or so on and so forth, oftentimes that group or that person will be excommunicated from the Catholic Church. And I thought that term is so relevant for today, because excommunication is rampant in our society and how we deal with people. And obviously, I think it's a offshoot of social media, because when you have something like platforms, Twitter is a good example, or Facebook, or probably any of them for that matter, how easy it is to block somebody, right? So as soon as you meet somebody that you don't agree with their views, you block them so that you don't have to listen to them, and you cut off all communication. It's like a form of excommunication. Say, I excommunicate you because you don't believe what I believe, and so I'm going to plug my ears, close my eyes, and no longer speak to you forever. And not only does that happen in social media, of course, but it's happening amongst friends and family. So if we have a family member that we don't agree with religiously or politically or social issue, something like that, we'll have a tendency to just, I'm going to block them out of my life. Excommunication, excommunicado. I am no longer talking to you. And that is the end of that. And so it really was a lot of that happening in the book as well. And I kind of extrapolated out to see what's happening in the world today. And that is so common, that we are isolating ourselves, we're polarizing ourselves, we're creating our own little echo chambers that we only want to listen to people of the same mindset as ourselves. And I guess humans have always been like that. If we look at history, has it always been that way, that we've only surrounded ourselves with our own kin, our own community, our own country, and we feel like that those other people from that other country, we don't want to talk to them, we don't want to deal with them. But as civilization progressed, we had all this communication happening, right? We had all this cooperation. We eventually developed this thing we call the United Nations, that was supposed to bring everybody together, bring this global harmony. And I think that there are sincere efforts that continue to be made along those lines. But at the same time, the efforts being made to cut off any type of communication with our fellow human beings is exploding in popularity, is exploding in just day-to-day life. And so the danger is that we all become these islands, that famous saying, no man is an island, but we're making best efforts to prove that famous quote wrong, right? We are isolating ourselves. We're saying, no, if you don't agree with my views on this topic, excommunication, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And it can be a lot of issues, right? Medical issues, political issues, social acceptance of these different things. I don't want to mention specifics. You can come to your own conclusion, and I think you'd agree with me that there's a rampant amount of just cutting off and no more communication, and I don't want anything to do with listening to that person. And so we're trying to listen to different things, different people that are promoting their views. I mean, look at me. I'm on here on YouTube promoting my views, or I'm on social media promoting my particular views, and I'm trying to reach out and hope that people will listen to me. The last book that I covered was by John MacArthur, and I was expecting to get some flack and some feedback on that, but I got very little. But I did get some. So for the people that did go out of their way to comment, I'm very thankful for that I did get some feedback, because anytime you get any kind of feedback, it makes you feel like you're connected to society. It makes you feel like you're connected to the world. And this is what I'm hoping to do with these videos to a small extent. One reason I'm making these videos is that I'm hoping that people that are close to me will see them after I've left planet Earth. And so it'll be a memory for them. Because there are people in my life that I'm not in contact with today that I'm hoping they might be able to find these videos down the road. But the other reason is also, of course, to expand my own mind, learn as I go along, but also to connect with an actual audience. And so to get feedback from people is very helpful. Even negative feedback is interesting to see, because some people will post some negative feedback. And I was kind of expecting that on the last book I did. I've never done 10 videos on a single book before. And so that was a first for me. But that's finished. I didn't really receive much feedback that would make me want to address that book anymore. That was the book, The Gospel According to Jesus, and the subtitle of What is Genuine Faith, or something like that. And so this one is done. I've finished this one. It was quite eye-opening. I had no idea that there was so much combat that goes on behind the scenes between people like this individual, Bill Donohue, and the leaders of other, as I mentioned, specific interest groups. The group to promote this cause, the group to promote that cause, the heads of universities, the heads of political affiliated groups, and so many different groups. And of course, not to mention all the heads of the individual religions, the Presbyterians, the Episcopalians, the Southern Baptists, the Catholics, and this group and that group, and so many different groups are all trying to promote their own interests. They're trying to gain adherents. They're trying to gain followers. They're trying to increase their popularity. And so the world today is this cacophony of blasting of different interests, clamoring for attention, saying, listen to me and follow me, and this is the truth, and that's the truth. And everybody has their own version of truth. Everybody's promoting their own version of morality, right? Everybody's saying, oh, this is the moral thing to do. This is what we should do. Maybe even just take one small topic like gay marriage, for example. One group will say, this is the way to go. This should be moral. And another person will say, well, no, this should be moral. And this is not moral, and that's not moral. And they're all trying so hard to gain the ears and attention of their audience. And so I wonder, where it's all leading to. Are we becoming more isolated? Are we able to? We've reached a point now where we can't even listen to all the different voices that are out there, because there's simply too many, right? There's simply too many. And our attention span has grown smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So now we've reached the point where it's just little snippets of information. I look at these videos that I'm making, and nobody is watching to the end of these videos, really. Like, there might be one person out there, and God bless you if you actually enjoy listening to the end of my videos. I am thankful for you, and I appreciate that. But at the very least, you're likely to have to put it on double speed or 1.5 speed, because our attention span has just been so shortened. Now it's just little snippets, these little 2-second clips, or even just an image. Just boom, here's the message. An image that shows something that's trying to present its point as a meme, right? And one after the other, one after the other. TikTok is famous for that. Just one after the other video, somebody trying to gain your attention, and in sequence, boom, 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 and it can overwhelm the mind. So I'm hoping that I can find a space where I can find a peaceful place where I can present an idea, even if it's just to myself. A lot of these videos, I'm in a way presenting the idea just to myself, so that would I listen to myself? And I sometimes, as I'm reviewing the videos, what I have to do is I actually have to go in and correct the subtitles to make sure the subtitles are correct. And so I'm forced really to re-listen to myself. And a lot of times when I'm listening to myself, I realize, I don't know if I'd really want to listen to myself. First of all, I realize that I say too often. Secondly, I say the word right too often. Every time I make a statement, I go right. And I realize that's probably not helpful to being a good communicator. So this is a learning experience for myself also. I'm trying to improve the way I communicate, improve the way I speak. And maybe over time, I'll be able to present my ideas faster and quicker and start shortening these videos to make them shorter and shorter and shorter until I reach a point where I can just take a 2-minute blurb and say, okay, here's the point I want to make today. Does this help you? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Does this encourage you? And keep shortening them and shortening them, shortening them. And so this is going to be my goal going forward, is to continue to study through reading. I'm a voracious reader, and I want to learn as much as I can, distill that down, and then share that with my audience in as concise, as brief, and as accurate a way as possible, to the effect that it benefits the viewer of these videos. That's a pretty big goal that I have, but that's what I'm hoping to do moving forward. So once again, I want to say thank you very much for watching. That's my review of Secular Sabotage. Very depressing read. I'm glad I got through it, and I have nothing but admiration for somebody like this guy, Bill Donohue, who is a warrior for his views on morality. I'm not a big fan of the Catholic Church per se. I was born Catholic, actually. I was brought up Catholic, and I kind of became more of non-denominational. I became well, I'm not going to go into it here because it's probably boring, but I consider myself now kind of a non-denominational Christian believer. I consider myself a theist, right? That's the term that I prefer, because I believe that God, the Father, that I worship is the same God, the creator of heaven and earth, the creator of all the cosmos, that is worshipped by the vast majority of the world's religions. So I consider myself a theist, that I'm trying to serve God the Father. I happen to believe in Jesus Christ as being the Son of God and being the one that came and explained God the Father to us. And not only explaining him, but obviously providing a way to reach God the Father through the sacrifice that he did for humanity, of course. And so that's a whole other topic, that as far as what I believe in, right? But that's where I'm heading. I want to continue to make these videos. I want to continue trying to encourage whoever might see these videos, and I'm going to try and make them shorter and more concise moving forward. So I haven't really done it in this video. I was kind of long-winded, but again, I'm a bit of a work in process, so I will continue to strive for that in the future. Once again, thank you for watching. God bless you. I pray blessing upon you for watching this video. I pray that you're blessed in your life, that you continue to prosper and grow intellectually, morally, spiritually, peacefully. I hope that you're blessed in many different ways in your life, especially in this world that we live in, that is full of noise and full of attention-grabbing things trying to tear us in 10 different directions at once. I pray that we can cooperate together, and instead of excommunicating everybody around us, somehow cooperating, somehow listening, and somehow being a blessing to one another. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Thank you for watching. I love you very much. I know God loves you, and I pray that we can move forward together in peace and harmony, okay? Take care of yourself. Have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye now. Take care. Bye-bye.